Hey guys, it's Godbards here, the self-proclaimed hip-hop historian, and this is the 117th episode of my series where I grab a vinyl from my collection, talk about why I love it, what influence it had, and what its place is in the grand scheme of hip-hop. Streetz is an insanely talented MC from New York that I've been keeping up with since the third installation of his Noise Candy series here released in 2019. Though Rome has definitely leveled up in status over the last few years through his affiliation with names like Griselda or Ransom. I actually first became aware of him through BZ430 of Dead End Hip Hop. He had put Noise Candy in a list of his top albums for its respective year, and I was instantly enamored by the dope album cover the second I saw it, and knew I had to check the LP out. I definitely wasn't the slightest bit disappointed either, because even from the very first moment, you're dragged in by this killer sample from The Wire about drug dealers and how they'll look down at their users without realizing they're just as equal a part of the problem. Honestly, you could debate that they're even more comparable for the larger issue. However, just because Streetz is honest and direct about the fallout and negative aspects of selling crack, that doesn't mean he's above it himself and doesn't have countless slick lines about doing it. This is another continuation of that Rock Marciano, Husk Kingpin type fly shit, where instead of using their wealth and success as an excuse to strictly talk money and avoid the art of writing bars, they do the opposite by using their lyrical prowess to enhance lines about flexing and keep them interesting. Certain people try and throw dirt on this larger movement because they perceive it as, oh, they only talk about coke, girls, and guns, it isn't real hip hop. But there's a reason you won't often hear any OG saying that, and instead they're actually the ones working with these guys. While of course you had your De La Souls and Tribe Called Quests, who served as exceptions to the rule, even that counterculture movement itself stemmed from how popular gun and drug rap was back then. I mean, you can take your pick from Illmatic, Ready to Die, All Eyes on Me, or The Chronic, which were arguably the four most impactful albums of the decade. And I would hazard a bet you can't find a single song on any of those four projects that doesn't involve guns, drugs, or girls. So for losers to come along all these years later and tell true students of the culture that they aren't that, even when they're undeniably gifted MCs with references that show they're true fans, it's hard to take them seriously. Rome is the type of guy where you're either probably going to be a fan right away, or maybe it just isn't your cup of tea. But for me, this dude really can't miss whenever he hops on a track, either his or on a feature. He's mastered the ancient practice of carving out your own pocket and flow, which when then matched with Rome's easily identifiable voice just gives you magic. He has a killer ear for beats. I was shocked when I first put this LP on, and song for song there just wasn't one iffy beat, and it almost goes without saying that there's nothing even remotely resembling a lackluster verse. While he hadn't collaborated much with Westside Gunn, Conway, or the rest of GXFR at this time to my knowledge, I definitely put them in the same bracket, and I wasn't too surprised when he eventually joined the Griselda ranks, along with guys like Stove God Cooks, who I had a very similar introduction to. Noise Candy 3 has one of my favorite intros to a modern hip hop album, where I think it's practically the peak of the minimal, quote unquote, no drum style that dudes like Rock Marciano and Ka really excel with. However, he smartly fills up the rest of the project with hard-hitting, grimy drums that make the subtle intro stand out even more, and adversely, that low-key, bare-bones instrumental gives a contrast to the other beats on here. Rome isn't someone who was just born with a great voice for rap and got lucky. That was more just a convenient bonus that helps catch your ear. He has an arsenal of flows he can pull out at any time, and moreover, he has dense, well thought out schemes that come with clever, creative wordplay and metaphors. There's even a concept track on here that isn't dissimilar from the type of thing Nas would pen back in the day, if I'm interpreting it right, where he seems to almost be rapping from the point of view of money, which is pretty damn impressive and commendable, especially for someone who knew he didn't have that many eyes on him at the time. Just to give you an idea of the high standard set on this LP, the first set of bars you hear going into the project is, no contract from rap. I'm still bustin' moves, wrote this shit on the way to go make a slap, two grizzies for $1.60 flat. Bet the shit I've spat, circulate the map. generating racks while you rappers struggling, wishing to make a stack. Trying to imitate the latest major act, I razor blade your face, leave it hanging, the ER gon' have to staple back. Knock a rapper head clean off with his chain attached. Same exact plug I've been dealing with for a minute. Always keep it A1 so I'm reeing up consistent. I crystallize my rhyme so you can sniff it. Design it to electrify your mind when the drip hit. Been fully equipped with laser beams on the biscuit. You also have to acknowledge the follow-up to this album, which is Noise Candy 4, and Rome really wasted no time putting this thing together with it dropping only a year after the third one. He does exactly what you'd want and expect out of a continuation for a series by not really altering the formula and trying to fix something that isn't broken. Instead, he ups the ante by bringing even denser verses and a batch of instrumentals just as gas as the ones on here. There's some fellow underground rappers who honestly all sound great on their respective tracks, even the ones I wasn't familiar with prior to this album, like Aldovino, Bubba Rock, Mooch, and another MC I've been a fan of for a while now, Planet Asia. The stellar production on this thing is handled by the likes of Messiah Music, Wavy to God, Vinyl Villain, Lowman, Static Selecta, Level 13, Sadhu Gold, Future Wave, True Mentals, Dirty Diggs, and J.R. Swift. My honorable mentions on this one include Rich Porter or Pookie, Rotten.com, World in My Palm, Laps Around the Sun, Blood All Over the Money, and Stay Golden. My three favorite tracks on here overall would have to be Seizure, 96 Nautica Windbreaker Shit, and Heart on Ice Pack Remix. Thank you for watching my 117th video. Next time we're going to discuss another personal favorite from someone I mentioned multiple times on my top 50 hip-hop albums of 2023 list, though they've definitely seen a little bit of controversy recently. So check in for that one, and if you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, and let me know what your favorite songs off of this underground but pretty stellar LP are. Don't forget to have a great day, and I'll see you next time, okay? Alright.